Striking the ball nicely with your driver and dispatching another great tee shot straight down the middle is a fantastic feeling. But what if when that ball flies off, it flies too high into the air, stalls, comes down and doesn't roll anywhere, and the pitch mark's next to the golf ball? You think, I've done all that hard work, but the ball didn't really work with me. And then on the next hole you might hit one and it flies out super low, lands and rolls a long way, if it's allowed to roll a long way. But what if that low one lands on long grass or wet grass or even into a bunker, and then it can't then roll all its way? Again, it's a shorter shot than it needed to be. So it's really important that we launch the ball at the correct height, and it's super important that we have the correct amount of loft on our golf clubs. Now just imagine this analogy with me, if you will. If we take a hose pipe and we turn the water on, and we're going to spray water out of the jet of the hose pipe, and we're going to go into the garden and water the flowers. If we spray that water straight up in the air, it goes up, comes back down, lands quite close to me, okay? That's my sand wedge or my lob wedge. That's a golf shot that goes really high, not very far, and lands near to me. As I lower the hose pipe down, the water from the hose pipe starts flying a little bit further, and it starts watering the flowers towards the back end of the garden. But if I keep lowering the hose pipe down further, it stops going further to the back of the garden, starts watering the flowers nearer to me again, until it ends up right back at my feet. So we've got too high is too short, lower is further to a degree, too low ends up too short again. And exactly the same thing happens with driver lofts. If we have a driver that has too much loft, like a lob wedge, we hit it really hard, it goes really high, comes down, doesn't go very far. That in driver terms might be a 13 or a 14 degree golf club. Stalls, lands, doesn't go very far. But if we go too low the other end, 4 degree, 5 degree, 6 degree driver, doesn't go far enough, lands, stops as well. So in that middle area we have a thing called optimum trajectory. The water from the hose pipe flew to the flowers at the back at a certain degree. Above it or below it, it came shorter each way. Perfectly in the middle, optimum trajectory. As a golfer, certainly as a fitter, we're trying to fit a golf club to a player to maximise the optimum trajectory of their standard golf shots. We can always manipulate it a little bit by moving ball position and other things, but we want to make a standard golf swing, then fit the golf club, the loft, the shaft flex, and the head design and profile to make sure the optimum trajectory happens for all the golfers. So your driver might be different from my driver, might be different from his driver, because the way we swing and the way we hit it. So the optimum trajectory for you might be different from your playing partners. One of you might go higher because you have a faster swing speed. One of you might be lower because you have a slower swing speed, or vice versa. So next time you go to a fitting, make sure there's a piece of tech there, a trackman, a flight scope, a top tracer, something of that nature. Then we can look at how changing the loft on the club head is optimizing the trajectory, like the water flying out of the hose pipe, to try and hit the golf ball to those flowers at the back of the garden.